The oh! Donald Trump's Epstein file release Distractapalooza marches on. The occupation, the military occupation, the federalization of Washington, D.C., a city with a crime rate, a violent crime rate that is at a 30-year low right now. And this entire thing is all about, absolutely about optics. I live in this city. I walk around in this city. I go to dinner in this city. At night, late at night, Brittany Page and I are walking around. It's not like we're escorted by security. This whole thing is just a nightmare. So it's all about optics. We've established that. We see that that's what's happening. Their first night, they made 23 arrests in a city of over 700,000 people. Oh, it's such a war zone. You would think they would be able to fill paddy wagon after paddy wagon after paddy wagon. 23 arrests. And Jeanine Pirro is here to tell you she doesn't care about what the crime statistics say. She doesn't care about reality itself. And again, on the optics thing, I'm going to play for you. I don't know if you've seen some of the clips of the sandwich guy. I don't know what the internet is calling him, but a guy who's calling them fascists and calling them shame and you should leave the city. And then he throws his Subway sandwich at a cop. And then they furiously chase him down. But if this is seriously a war zone, you would think that their big win would be something greater than a guy with a sandwich. Anyway, we're going to play that, and then also her triumphant video essay on why it's so great that sandwich guy has been arrested and charged. But here she is telling you that the U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia, Donald Trump's hand-picked former TV personality, that she doesn't care about reality itself.
If we have our way, we will be able to make D.C. safe again. And the president's going to do it. And we've got this. Last night, there were 700 federal and local cops on the streets. And this is what the community wants. They want to be able to be safe. They want to come to the nation's capital and look at the fabulous museums and the monuments that we have here. And last night, there were 43 arrests. And we seized 7 handguns. And every night, it's something else. But this is a message that we're not going to tolerate crime as if that's just the way things go. And I'm tired of hearing that crime is down. It's not down for people who are suffering from violent crime.
You're tired of hearing that crime is down. Well, we got visual aids. We have the statistics. We also have the opportunity to talk about what reality is, that we live here. I live here. I know when crime was far worse than it is now, 2 summers ago. I know what that was like, and I still didn't feel unsafe. And now it's dramatically lower. Crime hasn't been as bad as it was even last summer, like it was when Donald Trump was president of the United States. But their big win in this surge, in this military occupation of FBI and ATF and Homeland Security dipshits roaming through the streets, roaming through Georgetown. You might not know the kind of the layout of DC and which neighborhood is what and which neighborhood is absolutely lily white and so safe because that's where all the rich people live. But that's where they're patrolling. They're also out in the streets on 14th Street here, which is also very gentrified, very safe. But they're not in the places where traditionally there are greater rates of crime. When my first year, when Brittany and I moved here from Southern California, we lived in Columbia Heights, which is one of those neighborhoods that's like, oh, Columbia Heights, ooh, that's spicy. No, it wasn't. It's just a neighborhood. It was fine. Never felt unsafe. We got Sweepy, our dog, when she was a puppy, and we used to walk her down in the middle of the night because the front lawn in the house we were renting was just a mud patch. They were putting in grass or whatever they were doing. And we would walk her a block down to the local elementary school in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. when we were potty training the dog. It was fine. We never felt unsafe. Anyway, so here's their big win. Here's the big win. I'm not going to play her exposition on the matter yet, but here is what took place the other night on the streets of DC with a guy who I don't know, we haven't verified, but he's allegedly been drinking, and he's upset of the presence of the military and the federalization of his city, and he had things to say to the cops that also included a wrapped Subway sandwich.
In our city.
They're what?
You see these fascists in our city.
They're what?
You see these fascists right here in our
Fascists?
city. Fuck you. Fuck you, fascists. Shame. 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 Shame.
Y'all laughing, but that's the truth though. We really talking real shit.
Shame.
Y'all need to do some background studying about the Federal Bar Association. Bro, it's about what we fuck them, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Stop the drama.
these fascists are gathering in black, white, and loafers.
Little blip. It's not fucking worth it. Come on, Brian.
Fight the fucking crowd, man.
Take a fucking way. You busy?
Motherfucker! Oh!
Oh! Oh! It's fucking done! It's fucking done! Fucking done!
He cooked him! He cooked him!
So I got a couple of things to say here. One is that's not my video. The original account, I put my logo over somebody else's logo there. The original account isn't even on Instagram anymore. I don't know what happened. I was going to credit them, but they obviously don't want credit because they deleted their account or their account's no longer there for whatever reason. This was taken from some account that's acting as though this was some crime against humanity. And so I don't want to give them any promotion whatsoever, especially since it's not their original content. However, the only crime I saw in that clip, I guess it depends on your perspective. From my perspective, the crime was the fact that he bought what he thought was food at Subway. That's his first problem. That's the crime as far as I'm concerned. If you believe that Subway is good, then I guess the crime would be wasting what you consider food, throwing it at that fascist or fascist enabler. We don't know that person. I also think it's very funny that it just all of them huffing and puffing to chase down the guy in loafers, the allegedly drunk guy in loafers. And now he's been charged. Here's 30 seconds of a clip explaining what he's been charged with and the outcome there. And then we'll get to Jeanine Pirro and her triumphant victory lap about the sandwich guy.
Then there's this. A D.C. man caught on camera slapping a Customs and Border Protection agent right there with his Subway sandwich, then taking off. 37-year-old Sean Charles Dunn tried to sprint away. He was ultimately arrested and is now charged with felony assault on a law enforcement officer.
Charged with assault. They're charging that guy with assault. I hope he faces a jury that will see this for what it is. I just had jury duty, so I won't be called to serve on that jury. But let me tell you, that's a guy who'd be getting off. Here's Jeanine Pirro, her victory lap on this matter. The woman who doesn't care about reality, who's tired of hearing that crime is down, taking a victory lap over this major crime. Oh my God.
So President Trump has vowed to make D.C. safe and beautiful again. And as part of his effort to fight crime, he's bringing in our federal law enforcement partners like FBI, ATF, DEA, or Park Police, everybody to help the Metropolitan PD fight crime. And the president's message to the criminals was, If you spit, we hit. Well, we didn't quite do that the other night when an individual went up to one of the federal law enforcement officers and started jumping up and down, screaming at him, berating him, yelling at him. And then he took a Subway sandwich about this big and took it and threw it at the officer. He thought it was funny. Well, he doesn't think it's funny today because we charged him with a felony, assault on a police officer. And we're going to back the police to the hilt. So there. Stick your Subway sandwich somewhere else.
Does she think she's cute or funny or anything other than the drunkard from Fox News that we witnessed for so many years? The woman who tried to convince America, signaling that she agrees with Donald Trump and this administration, that due process is not something that is a right of all persons who live in this country. She's either lying about the Constitution, which is just violating her oath to it, or she's too stupid to do the job she's doing, or maybe some combination of the two. Anyway, what do you think? I invite you to this conversation. I really want to hear from you. If you live here, if you're a neighbor of mine in Washington, D.C., I want to hear from you. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054, or you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Please subscribe. It is free to support this work by subscribing. Just click the subscribe button. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Blue Sky. I am at Dollemore everywhere. And I'm going to go. I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine and take care of one another.